everyone. Welcome to X's and O's with LeRoy Butler. And we are going to take a look at the exotic Philadelphia Eagles offense.
I like the name you gave it earlier in 5 questions.
What was that?
I forgot. I had to think about it. I said rinky digger. You said something else.
Yeah.
It'll come to me. It was funny.
Okay.
It could be kind of gadget stuff.
Yeah, it is very
but it's
gadgety.
an illusion.
But this is really interesting because it's 2 different plays out of almost the same formation.
Yes.
And you'll see this a lot. And they'll line up in a shotgun. They'll have LeSean McCoy back here. And you'll constantly see him go in motion this way.
Right.
And sometimes it goes to him, sometimes it doesn't.
And we were thinking maybe he was a decoy, but not so much.
And sometimes he is, and sometimes he isn't.
He's not.
This particular play, he's not. So why don't you take us through? We got a 3 wide receiver set. Here's Nick Foles, and here's
They got zebra personnel, 3 wides, and they got a tight end and a tight end. But the thing about it, Ty, it's the illusion of the safeties see that, you know, a guy going to empty backfield set, and when he moves, no one moves with him. The safety doesn't move, or the linebacker doesn't move.
You thought this guy was probably in the wrong spot, but
I think
they did have a weak side blitz on too.
They did. They had some kind of a game going on here, and he came around, but still it wasn't proper because when McCoy came this way, these guys just ran what we call slants, and next thing you know, Oakland is like overloading this side. But when he goes in motion, if you're Nick Foles and say no one went with him.
Nobody went with him. And the tight end came this way and occupied the safety.
So all 3 of these guys are going here. They threw him a pass. He scored a touchdown against Oakland.
I mean, it was just wide open.
It was wide open.
There, threw it to him.
And I think that's a confusion of if you're a defense, Tom, if a man moves, if it's zone, everybody takes 1 step over, which is fine. But if it's man and no one runs with him, it's easy for the quarterback to go through his progression. Oh, I could just dump it out here.
He doesn't see this guy running over. He knows where he's going.
What he would like to do real quick is this safety run with him and cover him. Now you got your tight end, man-to-man, wide open in the middle.
Right, with a linebacker.
Or you got your corners, your wide receivers, wide open in the middle. Right. So it's just one of these things where it's an illusion. At the same time, you got to be disciplined as a defense.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if Capers uses this guy to, to blitz and put some pressure on him, make it harder for McCoy to get outside.
And he would have a peel technique. He'd blitz. If this guy came out, he'd take him man.
Right. Okay, so out of this almost the same formation, only this time they moved.
This is very interesting.
Yeah, they moved the tight end here, and McCoy actually starts over here.
Right.
And so you don't. So you look at it, and it's pretty much the same thing, but totally different play. So at the snap, McCoy once again goes that way. They have
these
to be
guys
worried
do
about
the same thing. They go off. No big deal.
Those guys run everybody off, right?
They're gone.
Okay.
And these guys, we say, oh, that's a good pass rush. They came through. The line, they never even blocked them. I said, well, something's up. You had a go around here, Riley Cooper there, and next thing you know, there's no backfield set. And Selleck hides behind the lineman. It's a middle screen to the tight end. I mean, if you're a defense, it's almost guesswork. Tom, you're thinking, okay, they moved the guy here again.
Yeah.
These guys are running off, and we got a good rush going, and they're dumping off to the one guy that you think is max protection.
1, 2, 3. They all move out here.
It was an awesome play.
And he'll just hang right here, you know, boop. And
they did have one guy, as you pointed out, was kind of sniffed it out, but he missed the tackle.
Yeah, but it's a tight end against a linebacker. You better make that tackle, in the open field.
Another thing, they'll do the same motion, but they'll stand up and throw it out here to Deshaun Jackson.
Oh yeah, you saw that too.
These linemen will come down and he'll duck behind them for a big play.
Right. We also saw where he'll block this guy, and this guy will come over, or McCoy will come out that way. So there's a lot of deception. You got to think on your feet really quickly. So next, we're going to look at how the Packers can be successful with Seneca Wallace. Okay, so here's a way that you think that Seneca Wallace can be successful in this offense. So we talked about that in 5 questions. Get your guys the ball. Don't have to do anything fancy. So this is a game. This is a play in the. I think it was in the second half. of the Monday night game against Chicago.
Yep.
And one thing that was clear was that Chicago was playing the run. I mean, they
Yep.
were bringing safeties up. And in this
Yes.
case, they bring the safety right here.
Major right.
He's there, you know, to watch Eddie Lacy.
Right.
So from there, show us what Seneca Wallace did and how this played out.
See, one thing Seneca has to understand is this is a running formation. So just go through your ball handling skills and make these guys bite. And they're going to play the run anyway. So it's a play action pass, but he had a very good fake here. And then when you fake here, Kuhn runs like we call an under route. These linebackers, they bite, and so does this guy. So now erase major right there. Okay, now draw him right here.
Yeah, so he's right
now,
here.
what has to happen, Tom, Jordy Nelson has to get a great release.
Right.
If he gets a bad release, this play is done. He gets a pretty good release and comes over here. Now, with the play action, comes back, he steps up at a big rush here, and he made a great throw right here. Now, backside, you know, that's just gone. Borky should be running off.
Right.
But he ran like what we call like a comeback.
Yeah, he kind of...
Yeah, so that brought this corner Peanut Tillman into play to make that tackle.
Right. So the way it kind of turns out, if you just look at this, he's playing this guy.
Yes.
Okay. So if this guy comes up to Nelson,
Yep.
he comes back
He can go here, or if he doesn't feel good about it, he can drop it off the Kuhn.
That's right.
Here.
And you know, this guy was shading sort of.
Right.
He was in nowhere land.
Yeah,
you know?
in between.
But you know, and that's kind of what the whole play is designed about, right?
Yep.
And so this guy flows this way, you go this way. If he comes down, then you go to Nelson.
That's his whole progression. We're designing plays to give Jordy Nelson the ball, which is another brilliant play by McCarthy. Instead of having Nelson outside with leave James Jones outside, and you bring in, because this would be Cobb if Cobb was healthy. So you bring in your best receiver and put him in the slot to get him the ball. Another play, they're going to do the same play action, but this time Jordy Nelson's going to come lean, and he's going to run what we call a corner route.
Right.
And this guy will run him off, and he's going to be wide open. Remember, Philadelphia is the worst defense in the NFL. So these plays will work, but the confidence would be Seneca Wallace to sit down with the coaches and say, I love these kind of plays. It's play action. If everything is covered, Tom, he can always dump it off right there to Eddie Lacy.
Right.
Get the ball out your hand.
I think that's going to be a big part of their offense. Just, you know, if there's nothing there, dump it to Eddie Lacy.
And dump
it. Let him run with it. Maybe we'll see more James Franklin for that reason.
Right.
I don't know. But the other thing, too, is that the bootleg will be probably part of the game, too.
Absolutely. Bootleg, quarterback keeps. The quarterback draw. They'll go empty backfield set. You know, Kuhn he'll line up right here, and Lacy will motion out. Now you got 5 guys. Look, everybody will be spread out. He'll come back, and he'll just take off in the middle. They got to make him run the ball. Run the ball and slide. Yeah. They may not want to because the backup is Tozine.
Right.
But use his legs. Although he's been in the league for 11 years,
he can still
move. Yeah. And again, thank you to Steel Wind being the sponsor for our anti-bullying campaign.
Okay, and we will see you next week.